Good morning.
Good morning.
Never know 2 days before the 4th whether you'll get 4 or 40. It looks like the higher number. So, real good time coming up. I like the 4th. Unusual holiday. I think different than most in that a lot different activities that happen over the 4th. So let's go around the room. I mean, 4th has the possibility of you're a fireworks shooter, you're a griller, you're a golfer, you're a lake person, you're a beach person, a lot of possibilities. What's the best thing you're going to do over the 4th?
We're going to go all over it.
Oh, you go first. You're excited. Lead us off, Jim. Say your name and what's your favorite thing?
Okay, Jim Jenks, and we're inviting a past client over, her and her family. They're from Armenia, and we've gotten to be friends. They bought a house from me, showed them 35 homes, but they're always looking for additional to get into. So we're having them over for a picnic.
Nice. Michelle?
I am actually going to be networking. Yeah, sorry. I'm all about that.
There we go. Well, network away. Laura?
Sparkle, how you doing? Sparkle my day.
Best thing.
That I'm doing for the 4th of July?
4 days. What are you doing? Best thing.
Nothing.
Nothing can be good.
Relax.
Virginia.
Can be good. Yeah. Relax, it can be good.
I am looking forward to not answering my phone on Thursday.
There we go. Very good.
It's been
Bob?
Not answering your phone.
I'm playing golf
Where do you go?
Thursday morning or Friday morning, actually. That'll be the best thing I do.
Nice. Jimmy?
You're invited.
Jimmy,
to be out
I'll probably put in a list.
Johnny?
Got it.
Johnny, Jimmy. Jimmy John.
I
There we
got a
go.
listing.
That's how I got started.
Same
Listing may get a lot
What?
this weekend.
What's that?
A listing may get a lot this weekend.
That's good.
Also, entertain with some folks at the pool and stuff like that.
There we go.
Going to
Say your name.
Karen Johnston, going to either Keswick Park or the concourse for fireworks and music, live music concert.
Very nice.
Dolores Voorhees. Relax part of the day, work on my scripts the other part.
It could be all 4 days. Between Thursday and Sunday, your best
okay.
thing. All right.
So, I was thinking this morning, I have to show gratitude to, my brother's been giving me referrals, and I can't buy, there's not a gift he needs. And then I thought, oh, his wife is out of town right now. I'm going to have him over for a barbecue on July 4th.
Very nice.
There
So,
we go.
I have to kind of figure out how to show him gratitude in different ways.
You like them?
It's a good thing.
Don't say how long, could be 5 minutes.
She's not like you, Bob.
Could be 5 minutes, come over and have a tube steak.
Say your name.
Eddie, we're having people over on Thursday for just a small barbecue, and then Friday I'm putting a sign up coming soon and listing going.
Nice. Everyone's pretty darn busy here for the 4th. Marty?
Marty Johnson, having my family all together and their friends for cookout on Thursday, and text past clients with a happy 4th of July wishes. I guess that's about it.
There you go.
Diamond Blackman, probably nothing, lay out at the pool. My first kid-free 4th of July in years, so
Nice.
have some adult time.
There you go.
Cook.
What's your name?
My name's Renita Crawley. Cook for my brother's housewarming. That's gonna be this Saturday.
Going to the vineyard.
What's your name?
Misha.
Misha who? Come on, this isn't hard.
Going to the vineyard.
The Vineyard.
Martha's Vineyard.
All right, well, let's just...
Excuse us.
Maybe that or the monument.
Nice.
I heard Jackie and Ess's house is for sale.
Have you ever been there? Have you ever been there? Yeah, it's a great place. If you ever get a chance to go to Martha's Vineyard in Nantucket, do it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Gail?
Gail Pullman, just relaxing and working on not relaxing.
Okay, Paul.
Paul Bryan, going to Wills Park. A friend of ours lives close. We're going to listen to music, watch the fireworks, cook out, walk around, and watch the fireworks.
Nice. Frederick.
Frederick Weston. I'm actually going on vacation Saturday, so my 4th is going to be kind of slow.
Part of the extended weekend. Good.
Okay. Rachel.
Big pool party with our friends, and then we're all going to watch fireworks together.
Nice. Charles.
Well, I have a friend that
What's
has a
your name?
house on the side of Sweat
What's your name?
Mountain. And,
What's your name?
Charlie Lockwood.
Okay.
I have a friend that has a house on the side of Sweat Mountain, and last year from his deck, we counted 15 different fireworks displays that we could see. It's a beautiful view back toward Atlanta. We could see all the way to downtown.
That is cool. If you're ever out that way, just drive up that. It's hard to believe the people that live on.
I mean, it's a corridor just looking south, all the way to
crazy.
Buckhead, downtown.
Crazy.
Fantastic. And on Friday, Peter Tennyson and I are going to the Braves game for Walter Banks bobblehead night. Peter is a good friend of Walter Banks and made his acquaintance many years ago. He's an 80-year-old African-American gentleman who's worked for the Braves for 50 years.
Nice. John.
John Green Sr. Me and my wife are going to take our boys to the beach.
What beach?
Hilton Head.
Woo! Look at you.
Nancy Aronic, and I've had a very stressful couple of weeks, so I've been just looking forward to chilling.
Yeah, chilling can be good. Travis.
Travis Mitchell. I'm just gonna watch fireworks, drink whiskey, play guitar, celebrate our freedom.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a person that got honest about the whiskey part. There we go.
Misael Portillo, just hanging out with family, barbecue, pool, everything.
Good.
Coming up, LaWall. I'm going to Lake Lanier. My son's birthday happens to be on the 5th of July, so we're going to intertwine it. Yeah.
Good. Lanier, I think, will be busy.
Paige Wiggins. I'll be working at Elm Street Theater all weekend on a show about the history of America.
Wow.
90 minutes, the history of America. It's a comedy.
It's getting that way.
Hey, Deb Martino, and I will put a plug in. I went last weekend. I'm probably going again this weekend. Incredible show. You will laugh the whole time. If you are looking for some fun this weekend, I'd say go to Woodstock to the Elm Street Theater. It's excellent. Paige does an amazing job as the stage manager. Flawless. Our weekend is both personal and professional, so a bunch of personal stuff that's going to be fun, fireworks displays, kayaking, all that kind of stuff. And on the professional side, for our family-oriented clients, we are doing a puppet show. But interestingly, some of the people coming don't even have kids because I think we all want to rekindle our youth. Like, I can't wait to go, and I didn't want to go alone like the stalker woman in the back, watching a puppet show. So this is a perfect excuse to be able to go.
You're putting on the puppet show?
What?
Hey, what about
No, we're actually going to the Roswell Cultural Arts Center, who throughout the summer does a puppet show series. So it is a great thing to do if you've got wee ones. Excellent program.
Okay. Pete?
Pete English, we're going over to Athens to make sure that the town's ready for football season.
There you go. It's the 4th. You can start talking football now.
No jackets.
Up. All right, there we go.
Hank Williams, going to the brother and sister-in-law's house on Lake Hartwell. Get to hang with the 18-month-old grandson.
Nice.
Who got you sick? Who got me sick? That's all right.
Bob Petrina going to Lake Lanier and cook out with family and friends.
Good.
Jake.
Got a lot of things going on.
Just one.
The best one, Jake.
We're going to host hot dogs, soft drinks, potato chips at our new development that we're in. About 100 residents there. And we thought, well, be the first 4th of July there. And it's actually also the opening of the swimming pool. Finally, we had a delay, but that's the opening swimming pool. We live right across this thing there, 25 feet away.
There you go.
Active weekend.
I'll be with my
name. Don't forget your name.
Stacy Stubbs. Thank you. Gonna be with my boys, my daughter-in-law, all the granddogs, and my dog, and gonna see fireworks and cook out. And
just one.
Yeah. That's it.
There we go.
Driving to Louisiana to see my brother.
Nice.
With Batman.
Of course.
Nice.
So just to clarify, that's her dog, not a.
son bought a house this spring, and they are having a big housewarming for the 4th of July, so we're gonna go to that. And all my kids are in town, so I'm a happy camper.
There we go, and Brad Feynman, I'm actually going to the Braves game on the 4th.
Oh, good.
It's night game, so that should be good with the family,
And fireworks. Don't they do
I would
fireworks?
think.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, they do.
yeah, and you know, this is a time, obviously there's business out there, but this is a time, you know, it's enjoyable 4 days, I would say. So, and again, we've talked about this really right at halftime, it kind of cuts your year in half. So really need to put a little time into thought about the second half, what you're going to do. But it should be really excellent 4 days coming up. Market, how's it feel?
Good.
Good.
Active.
Okay, I agree. So last week, it seemed like it was more, right? I mean, you see my emails. I mean, we're literally getting 15 contracts a day, which is a big number. Okay, so I'm a little perplexed. I mean, generally right now, well, I'd give it 15 more days, but I would say the second slowest time of year is July 15th through September 15th, just because reloads ended. People are on trips, final trips, getting ready for school. But it might not happen this year. It really might not. And one thing that I think could be causing that is just these rates are crazy. You know, I mean, they've just dropped them. We're under 4. So again, I'm watching, and there's plenty of years where, I mean, I've shown you the cycle. You know, it's generally January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. This might be a year where we get a little different graph there because of it. So very cool, very exciting to me to see those numbers happening at this time of year. And a lot of you have said, like, I'm showing this weekend or I got business this weekend. So market seems good. Want to chat about this for a little bit because I think a lot of people have maybe the wrong idea what lead gen is, okay? I mean, I would say that in our business, lead gen is probably the key to everything, okay? In any business, okay? You can be a great attorney, but if you don't have business, you can't be a great attorney. Same thing with a doctor, same thing with us. You can be very skilled at the business, but you got to, your number one task is getting business to be able to do your business. And I think a lot of people have fear in lead gen. That word is not an exciting word to them. Either they don't know how to do it, or in their mind, I think the biggest problem is they think they're bothering people, okay? And it doesn't have to be that way at all. There's many, many forms of lead gen. You can call, text, email, social network, on and on and on. But I think there's a lot of ways that people don't even think are lead gen, okay? I mean, for some people in this office that belong to country clubs, playing golf with 3 new people, or sitting at the men's grill Friday having a beer is lead gen, okay? There's many, many forms. Well, here, Jim's only been with us a couple weeks, but I mean, every day he comes in, says he's got a new listing, and these are not from calling people. So, Jim, tell both your stories, actually.
Okay, a couple of weeks ago, I walk my dog a lot in our neighborhood. So last year, I got 2 leads, 2 sales, actually, from a lady that was moving to Houston, Texas. She said, "You're a real estate agent, right?" And I must have mentioned that to her, obviously, one time. So I got to sell a rental property and her townhome. Walking the dog a couple weeks ago, met a gal named Carol. She said, she just came back to me, she's been gone. She says, "I'm fed up with my job, I'm gonna go move by my kids up in Knoxville." She says, let's get it listed. So it's either gonna list this weekend or next week. We're just waiting for the carpet to go in. I actually went with her to Home Depot to help pick out the carpet because she had no idea what to do, and it's gonna be installed later this week, early next week. Pulled in from church the other day. There's a guy pulled up his car right into my driveway. He said, "Jim, I'm so glad I see it. I met him at a garage sale a few weeks ago." And he said, "I'm ready to list in 2 weeks, and then I want to buy." And he gave me a range of about $400,000 to buy and $250,000. The townhome is exactly like mine. And I just sold one down the street for the same, so I know what it's gonna sell for. And there's nothing in our neighborhood for sale, so I'm gonna get those both listed with our listings. So it's just being out there, talking to people, and everybody in my neighborhood knows what I do, and they all say they're gonna come to me, so it's really.
So Jim, do you have your dog with a KW rat?
Well, Brad asked me if I was gonna walk it for 8 hours on Saturday, and I was like, no.
That's not a bad idea for you.
You know what, you can take a little,
Beach Street Road too.
Ice dog.
Painted the turd bags.
That's actually a great idea.
It is.
So, again, I think we're missing the easy things that are just, we're missing the easy things that are just in our normal life, okay? I mean, and dogs are one of the easiest, okay? Because they want to stop and talk to you and tell me about your dog, tell me about your dog. I mean, I would say, even there's these dog parks now. You go drink beer and let your dogs play. I mean, that's just, it's a layup. It's easy, okay? Probably equal to that or even bigger is your kids or grandkids, okay? I mean, you're walking around, people want to, right. It's just a natural way that people will approach us and start talking. So, yeah, I mean, that Jim might just have a cell phone and be walking literally from sun up to sun down. But think about ways that are just like that in your business. That's what you like to do, that it just causes people to start talking. That's all we got to do.
Speaking of the dog park, I was at the dog park one day, obviously with Batman. And there was a woman there walking around. She was giving out little containers that had little poop bags in them.
Right.
With her card attached to it.
All right.
She had just
I
done
won't
both.
say anything.
But I mean, there were like 40 or 50 people there. And it's a constant turnover of people. So I thought that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Okay, so just think about it. Lead gen should be easy. It should be natural. You're really not bothering people when you're doing it right. All right, so let's back up. Everyone got their card in here? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. These are things that, we're redecorating this month, tons, like we're getting everything new, all new tables and conference room chairs, ton of stuff will be happening. So the price on this is a good price, it's free. Okay? So just to tell you what we have as choices, and you might not want anything, but if you do, we have a printer here, and I can't tell you anything about it. Okay? It's as is. It looks like it actually looks like it's in good shape. Okay, we have tons of artwork. These are actually these are nice frames. Okay. Yeah. A light fixture. This is just decorative. We got artwork. There's two over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is kind of pull randomly during the meeting just so you can think about it for a minute. And if I call your name, you don't want anything, just say so. We'll pull another one. If you do, then we'll give you, 3 to 5 minutes to think about it, okay? Here we go. First person is Rachel Poole.
What?
Do you know what you want or you want to think? You can think for a while.
Oh, I think I know.
Okay, go ahead.
The decisive one.
And all this artwork has been appraised. The minimum is $10,000. They're all originals and signed. And there you go. Maybe just take one if you want, because there's.
Do those go together?
Yes, they go.
Oh,
There we go.
That's the one.
Okay, well, since that was so fast, we'll go again. There we go.
Beautiful.
All right, we got John Green.
Oh, wait.
You know what you want? You want to think for a minute.
I guess I could picture frame.
Okay, there you go. Can't go wrong with that. Okay, we'll go one more again.
That's Paige. that
Paige, that was a
Paige,
faux.
that I
No,
had to
it's
do that,
Jen.
I didn't happen to
No, I know.
record.
Go ahead. You know what she wants?
Paige has a new apartment, so she definitely
Oh.
can find something she wants.
Okay. There we go. I thought that would be popular. Okay, we're taking fast. I'm gonna go again. Masal. There we go.
Thank you.
Nice. And one more, and then we'll continue for a little bit. Diamond Blackman.
Way to go.
So you
Don't forget
got.
the ones in the back.
So you got a weekend without kids. Maybe you can work on your new printer to see if it works. Remember those two pictures back here too?
I don't know, Brad, if she has no kids, maybe that light fixture on her head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this is a good weekend.
Wear it to the pool. That'd be legit. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's continue. Frederick. Thank you. Great breakfast. Tons of Chick-fil-A. So Frederick, he's a man that has to be in your vendor database. What he does is very important to us, and he does it so well that the region has actually made him a partner.
Wow.
So, Frederick, tell us what's going on in the world of mold.
It's growing.
Business is growing. That's the great thing about mold.
So no, I would say that, I have colleagues all over the country that do what we do. We happen to be blessed or cursed having crawl spaces and unfinished basements. Other parts of the United States don't have that, so they don't have the same amount of problems. So I usually say, you're lucky if you don't need me, but if you do need me, I'm there for you. And we do everything that has to do with indoor air quality. So most of that is mold remediation, but we install dehumidifiers, we install UV lights in HVAC units, we do duct cleaning according to NADCA standards. If you need new insulation and remove insulation in a crawl space, we do that too. Vapor barriers, encapsulations, all of those things. And everything that we do will improve the indoor air quality. So that's basically our mission. The other thing is we only use biologicals and enzymes, so no harsh chemicals. So that is really what sets us apart from many other companies that, they're good at what they're doing, but if you're sensitive to mold, I'm not sure you want to have your home filled with chemicals. So instead of doing that, we only use things that are benign, and they work as well, if not better. We go out, we do free inspections. So when you call, we'll try to get out on your schedule. And that's another thing I think is important from what we do compared to other companies. Almost everything we do is real estate related. So we understand the world you're in. We understand the timelines. We understand that you don't want to delay closings. You don't want to extend due diligence periods if you don't have to. And that means that we try to go out in a timely fashion, get you the report, and tell you what needs to be done in the home. That report will also include what do you need to do going forward. Because if you have mold, you want to take care of it, but you also don't want it to come back. So we'll give recommendations. Okay, these are the steps you need to take, especially if you're on the buyer side of that transaction. What is the buyer needing to do so the mold is not there when they're selling the house in 3 years? So that would be part of what we're doing. We have a couple of partnerships now, so we're going to be one of the main sponsors of the region, which I'm very excited about. And we had to be vetted in order to be allowed to be one of the sponsors. And Brad was nice enough to talk to the region on our behalf as well. We also work with Habitat for Humanity. We did a job last week, a house that had 90,000 gallons of water running through it. So the lady was in the hospital. It's a property that was Habitat had built it and sold it the way they do it. And the ladies in the hospital, they get a water bill. 90,000 gallons. So obviously they had a mold problem. So we went out there, we took care of that. But so what we do on a national basis and on a local basis, we do pro bono work and reduced fee work for Habitat. So I think that's also an exciting thing, that is happening in our world. Apart from that, I hope you don't need me, but if you do, again, I'm here, and I'll be happy to work with all of you. And a lot of you in the room we work with on a regular basis.
Yeah, will you be branching out into more areas coming up?
It's funny you should say that. So we are starting a water restoration part of the business as well. So that goes hand in hand with the mold. But if someone has a catastrophic water leak, we'll be able to go out on 24/7 and do that work. So we're expanding into what we do.
Now, do you have a big enough warehouse and facility to store all of these things?
We did.
Come on, Bob, now.
Bob came by the other day.
I actually went by their office the other day just to check them out. They are legit. They do have a.
Thank you, Bob.
No, it's quite impressive. Quite impressive facility.
Goodbye, Bob.
Yeah, so we're staffed and we have enough. I have a new facility of 5,300 square feet. So
I did notice that one room that doesn't have any windows, moisture level might have been a little high.
Well, thank you for all you do. Again, so people that are on your vendor list, what qualities are you looking for? Responsiveness, probably near the top. I know of no one better. Calls back quickly. You don't have to ask him once he's gone out, what's the report? He gets to you before you can even ask that question. What else?
Quality of work.
Quality of work, probably number one. Never heard a complaint.
Honesty.
Yes.
Honesty is probably 1 and 2. Right. So this is a business where someone dishonest could basically be selling a lot of mold remediation that doesn't need to be done, right? And that doesn't happen here. So it's the guy you need to know. Love the water, catastrophic. I mean, y'all didn't witness it. It was here Saturday, but when that happens, and to see their equipment, how fast they were in here and how fast it was dried up, it's a good thing to know. I mean, you got people on creeks, you got people that pipe burst, having the right equipment, which none of us personally have. There you go. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. We didn't tell your story. So there's other ways of lead gen, okay? And I think I told this last week. I think a lot of you forget that having a database of agents that you have a relationship with and like, trust each other, most likely in further parts of Atlanta or either all parts of the country, that can be a huge business. So Michelle is regularly in Florida with her mom. So what did you tell me this morning?
Well, this week I picked up 2 referrals from the Aventura office. So one is wanting to sell a listing up here, and one is a doctor and a pilot, and they're looking at like $500,000 and up houses. So I don't mind handing over 25% all day long from another office, not a problem. So if you are out of state or out of town and are in an area consistently, please think about getting licensed in another state. There's money to be made all over.
Were you frequenting I'm assuming it was a KW office down there?
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm a broker in
nice
both states, so make money. It's out there, go get it.
There you go.
That is true.
So, I got a question for you. Do you think an inspector would approve of this repair?
What repair?
Looks good to me. Another tree growing right through the other tree. Square tree.
No, wood to soil contact.
Yeah.
Earth to wood, yeah.
That's good.
No,
that's the little, what does it do? It's holding up the tree line?
Yeah. I'm actually joking. But it seems to be working because I played this golf course 2 years in a row. This is at Hilton Head.
Wow.
And
Cypress.
now this is, I guess, a live oak. So this is actually a branch. It's not the trunk, but it was there the year before, so it seems to be holding. But I got a kick out of that.
Because people sit on those things.
All right, let's pick a couple more. Marty Johnson.
Way to go,
I'll pass.
Marty will pass. Good. Bob Fasella.
Whoa.
Anything up here?
Yeah.
Go for the printer, Bob.
Yeah, I take that printer.
Weekend project.
Funny guy.
Nothing? Nothing. Okay.
Nothing.
Charlie Lockwood.
Way to go, Charles.
Charlie will pass. Wow, we gotten into the passing mode now. One more. Let's go. Jake Duffy.
Yay!
Make it quick, Jake.
I am.
I think it's that cool.
I don't know if you can use it as a punch bowl.
Want to hear all about it?
And a bonus.
Frederick, I got your first flood situation. Yes, take some pictures of that, Jake.
I will.
So let's talk July 4th. It's an easy touch. Anyone doing any touches, pop buys?
I bought, went around to 3 different dollar stores and scarfed up 100 flags. And this was one of the most easiest things, just walked around our new neighborhood.
Right.
And people were very appreciative of that. It just seemed like it was lacking. There was maybe 2 or 3 people that had a flag out.
Right. Flags
So
are
I
easy.
just put
Flags are
flags and my
easy.
card on it. So
What else?
I do sparklers.
Yeah.
Sparklers good.
Yeah. I tried to send them in the mail. That didn't work.
Sparklers. You
You
might watch it.
Home security was knocking on your door. Yes. Yeah, sparklers are great.
Don't do more than one sparkler at a time. Eric Sapoznik in our group had a whole bunch of sparklers together, and they exploded, and they burned his hand, and he had to have a skin graft.
Not kidding. It was a long process.
Yep.
Yeah, so don't do
Please
more
be
than
very,
when
very,
you do
very
sparklers,
careful.
Don't do more than one at a time.
Okay. Good tip, Charlie. What else? Anyone doing a touch? Text touch? Yep. So I think I advised this last year, and I think even more so every year. I mean, the world's getting crazier, and unfortunately we're exposed to it just with social media stuff that, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, we just weren't aware of, things blowing up in foreign countries. Now it's just a regular part of our world. But I think we forget sometimes when we're immersed in all the bad stuff that there's a lot of incredibly good stuff about this country. And I think if you travel, you know that. Just look at the people south of us all trying to get out of their country and come to this country. So don't overlook the freedoms we have and the goodness of this country. And I would recommend, just on the 4th, read the Declaration of Independence.
It's really called Independence Day.
Okay.
4th of July is a pet peeve for me.
Okay.
Independence Day.
This Thursday.
What do you celebrate on December 25th?
Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you. The 4th is Independence Day. That's right. That's what it is, and we forget that. Okay, the 4th is all the other things we've talked about. So just read it. You'll be amazed that these guys 200 plus years ago had the foresight to write this thing, and it's the reason why this country is what it is. So, that could be a good text. It could be a good text to your clients. Just advise them to read it. But it is, like most holidays, the real meaning of it is kind of lost. But that is the meaning. It is our Independence Day. So, if you get a chance, read that. You'll be surprised. Want to talk about Bold coming up? All new Bold. So this is Bold 2.0. They have totally reformatted the entire Bold. I've taken Bold 9 times. The reason I have is Bold causes things in me as far as accountability and just up business and upped activity. I like what Bold does to me. So they've listened to you. I mean, Bold was, I don't know, 15 years ago maybe Bold started. So a lot of things that they've tweaked things to be more agent-centric, and I like what I'm hearing, the changes they've made. I think it'll be an upgraded Bold. James Farron, we asked for James. He is teaching it. He's local, which is unusual. So I don't know if any of you know Rachel Farron, who they're a team. They're $500,000 producers in the Peachtree Road office. When I was a team leader at Peachtree Road, Rachel came when I was there. But they live local. James has probably done 10 Bolds now. And he is just stats and facts. He's top 5%. So the results that they're getting from his Bolds, he's in the top 5% of the country. So we asked for him. We got him. James is a fun guy, but he's very businesslike. So this will start August 8th. It's going to be, you'll skip the next Thursday because it's mega, but then it'll be the next 5 Thursdays going into September. Cost is $800. It's well worth it. You'll get 10 times back in business for that. But I'm just being straightforward. Generally, the Rawls Group, our Bolds, they seat 130. This one, too long a story, but we can only get a space that seats 96. So this will sell out. This is no go to First Step and see if you like it. You got to sign up ahead of time or it will be shut out. So I would highly recommend it. I don't say that all the time, but the course revamped and it's one of the best courses at Keller Williams. I think James he's the guy. He will bring this and you will see increased business. So,
oh, Brad, I'm sorry, I missed it. What's the name of the guy who's teaching?
James Farron. So you might know his Rachel at Peachtree Road.
Oh.
Yeah, they're a husband-wife team, but he's probably done 10 Bolds. Very, very big results from his Bolds as far as agent results. So think about it. There's a link if you want to know it, but this will go fast. This time because we're smaller seats. So see me if you're interested in this program. It'll be, how many times you taken it, RJ?
Several.
It's very mysterious and vague. Okay.
Can I say that for new agents?
Yeah.
It is a game changer.
You were in it this January,
I just
right?
did it, and
Right.
I'd only had one sale part of that, and I went into Bold going, I am done. Before Bold is over, I'm gonna get I wanted a listing and I wanted a sale, and it made it happen. And it gives you the confidence and the skills. It's work. You got to make 100 phone calls a week, but talk about lead gen, it gets you going.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, it makes a difference.
Yeah, and you were obviously changed after that.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right. Halftime. Here, hand these out. This is a different one. So seriously, I'm not going to talk that much more about it. We've talked about it, but this is halftime of the year. In all your fun in the next 4 days, just think about your goals you set at the beginning of the year. Are you ahead or behind? If you're behind and there's goals, if you still believe those are your goals, you got to do something different. You just have to. Your total strategy, your total package of lead gen is not causing the business you want. You're going to have to change activities. Think about this. I'm happy to meet with you about it. Okay? Paul.
Yes, sir.
Certainty Home Loan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Paul Brown. I'm with Certainty Home Loans. I'm the new guy here. It's been a while since I spoke in front of people, so bear with me. Today, I wanted to talk about the future, or building your pipeline for the future. I talked with somebody about this the other day. We, as loan officers, we get these leads every day. I'm talking about lead gen today. We get so many clients that are just not ready. Tax liens, income, credit scores, you name it. There's so many reasons that keep them from buying. A lot of people, we want to get that customer that's ready with the 20% down, the 800 credit score, and get moving forward and get them closing fast. But there's so many people out there that they need time. And Certainty and I have the tools, that's plural. One of them is our knowledge, talking with the clients, being patient, as in, oh, your credit score is X, we're sorry, we can't help you, thank you, have a nice day, we hang up, and we want to get to that next lead. Well, speaking for me, and I've heard Randy and Matt, we're patient with these people, we're going to talk to them, we're going to give them suggestions on ways to get their credit score up. Hey, you have this tax lien, call the IRS, set up a payment plan, you'll be surprised what the IRS will accept. IRS are not that mean people that everybody thinks of them, but they're not. I mean, they'll take some pretty low payments. We'll also get into our software called the Credit Expert. We can tell them within a day, 2 weeks, 30 days, 60, 90, 6 months, 2 years, you name it. We can tell them how to get that low 500 credit score to the mid 600s and tell them exactly what to do. Some of y'all learned a little bit about Credit Expert in our classes. It is a wonderful tool. I did not have it at Wells Fargo. It tells you exactly what to do, and we're going to tell the client exactly what to do. So if they have homework, they're more apt to do it than somebody saying, Mr. Client, you need to pay your bills. Well, no, without cussing.
Those are right, but take quick.
The other thing is the patience to talk with them. People need to talk to somebody about it. We've seen it. We can understand it. Hey, you have some collections there. Call the hospital. Make a payment plan. Make it every 2 weeks if it's $10 or $20. If the medical place will take your payment, they've accepted your terms. So, the future of your pipeline. Send us everybody. We will talk to them. I will spend 20, 30 minutes with them. By the time I'm done, they're going to have a game plan. And my goal is in 6 months, 90 days, 1 year, year and a half. I did one, told you a story about it, was a year and a half. I called an agent. I was at a Coldwell Banker office, and I'll use it, Cheryl Butler. I said, Cheryl, guess what? Frank Johnson is ready. Huh? Who? I said, Frank Johnson. She said, who said? She had to look through her notes. Well, he sold his house, listed it with Cheryl, and bought a new house, and then I think sent her like 2 other referrals. She had knew nothing about this client, did not know I was working with them, because we use software that reminds us, Paul, go call Frank Johnson. See how he's doing every 6 weeks. Now, there's a lot of people I'm going to call. Oh, I haven't done nothing. But there's that 2 or 3 out of 10 people, hey, I'm working it. I worked out a payment plan with the IRS. I worked out a payment plan with, Best Buys, whatever it is. And hopefully, if you try me out and give me a chance, you never know. You might have a deal for me 6 months from now that you forgot about.
Okay, so rates, what do you got?
Rates on conventional, 3.875, 3.99. They've been staying pretty, and they just worsened twice, and we're still at 3.99. FHA, 3.5, and VA's 3.5, 3.6. Of course, depending on credit scores and down payment changes the rates.
There you go. So, again, why week of 4th of July are we having 12 to 15 contracts a day? These rates, if you know, ask Nancy Aronic. She lived back in a time where rates were good. Yes, we were happy at 10, so under 4 is it's crazy good.
And they're still removing what we call overlays in our business, just here and there. They're removing little things that make it less tough to get a loan for the consumers. Yes.
Paul, I have a question. What I'm hearing from a lot of people out there, the young set, is how student loan debt is going to affect their eligibility. Can you give me a summary and overview of what you take into when you're pre-qualifying?
On some of the loans, we're doing 0.5% now. That's one of the overlays they changed. If they have a statement, because sometimes we'll pull up the credit report and we have $700 a month in payments. but they're really paying 300. We get the statement from Nelnet or whoever it is, and we get proof. And that offsets what the credit report says. It used to be, it's what the credit report says or what there's, period. And so it has gotten easier.
So, to clarify that, how heavily does student loan debt weigh into qualifying a potential buyer?
If you take 0.5% or whatever what their volume or what they owe, it's not that much. So, 0.5% of $10,000 in credit card or student loan debt. What is that? 250, 500?
So armed with that information, we can take that out into the community and help educate our younger buyers. Don't be afraid if you have student loan debt.
Why don't we do a full, this is a bigger topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Get the printouts there. Sure.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Okay, let's pull one more. Amita. Amina.
Oh, okay.
What you want?
Oh, no.
All right, well, think for a minute, okay?
Take your time. I'll sit and look.
Okay, look, Charlie.
I did a pass. I'd like to take my previous opportunity, give it a page for the new apartment.
Okay, Paige, you can come up and pick something too. Oh, that's a good one. All right, so I love it when I am the consumer, okay? I just equate it back to my own business, your own business. So if I can be on the other side of the equation, instead of not being the agent or the team leader, but I'm actually feeling what the public feels, I like that situation. So, anniversary dinner for me, 36 years, same thing every year. In my opinion, the best meal in Atlanta, the best dish is the Dover sole at Kaima. Okay, we do the same thing every year. Okay, both of us, it's our favorite meal. Is that a good Is that good or bad?
That is wonderful.
There we go. That's what I thought. So anyway, good waiter, obviously a talented waiter. First thing we did, we sat down and I went to the restaurant. Okay? So I came back, so I didn't know if Arden had said this or not. So he greets me by my name and says, okay, well, I know y'all are having the Dover sole, but I was thinking Arden talked to him, and actually the best charred octopus is there also as an appetizer. So he goes, are you getting the octopus again? And I'm still thinking Arden had, already told him, right? Because I was gone. And so, took order, she got her appetizer, he left, and I went, you tell him that? And she goes, no. Okay, I'm impressed, right? How does that equate to your business? Right? I'm impressed. That's why I'm here. I'm here because the food is delicious, but this is a good service, good show. How does that equate?
You'll probably go back again next year.
And I bet he knows you go back every year.
I bet he does, but I'm just saying that's not the point. How does that equate to your business? How do your clients go, wow, impressive?
Consistently being able to anticipate their needs without them having to ask.
Right, or what else? Just like
You just told all of us we should go have the Dover sole at Kaima.
Well, you could.
And let Gustavo wait on us.
There we go. Yeah.
So you don't even remember his name from year to year?
Well, no, it's the first time I've had him, and I wasn't there when he came to the table, so I didn't get his name. No, it's not. I'm just impressed with the service. So how does that equate to your business? Y'all are all deflecting the question. It doesn't have to do with Kaima Dover sole. How do you do this in your business?
When you speak to somebody, you remember something, you ask them a specific question, you come back to them later.
You remember stuff.
You remember
right?
it and you just bring it up.
Right.
Ask them.
RJ, that I could go have that your daughter's birthday.
So, for example,
right.
you say the touches.
Right.
And so last night, my favorite thing on my phone I found was I can schedule a message to go out in the morning. So I scheduled some messages to some people that moved in the last couple of months and said, hope you're getting settled. and, you know, happy first Fourth in the house. So while I've been sitting here, I'm getting pictures of the painted family room, and, you know, we love it, a picture with the dog. I mean, like, what I'm saying is, because I'm being personal about their experience, they call me 18 years later, even though I've not physically seen them in 18 years. So that couple is like all excited, telling me what they've done at their new house, because they think, from a little text that I sent them when I walked in this meeting, I mean, literally I had it set up to go at 8:45 this morning. So being personal,
Remembering facts about them.
right, showing you care, following up,
Right.
when there is no sale,
Right.
is what makes the difference.
It's impressive, I'm telling you. I mean, Rachel's son just played up at Cooperstown. If I were to next year, same time, go, hey, is your son playing at Cooperstown this year? You know?
Right.
Right. It's just stuff like that. It's impressive. Okay? It impressed me. Nancy.
I had dinner with somebody. I did a deal with her probably 4 or 5 years ago, and I was just thinking about her, and it was just like, you know, hey, let's have dinner. Turns out she wants to sell her house and buy a new one. And I'm like, all I wanted to do was have dinner with her.
Right. This isn't very hard. Have dinner. Walk your dog. Right? You just got to talk to people. It's really
I was stunned.
way easier than you think. Really is. Jeannie Posner.
Yes. Are there any more picture frames left?
No.
But you take the picture out.
Yeah,
Rembrandt, send that.
All right, so while she's doing that, let's talk again, just one quick second. Negotiations is a major course. I mean, you could take probably a whole semester at Harvard on negotiation. It is an art form. But I think a lot of people are forgetting we're trying to get to agreement. These are two opposing forces that I want highest and best for my client. I want lowest and best for my client. Okay? How do we get there in the middle? How do we get to agreement? This is stuff you need to know in your marriage, with your kids. But I can promise you, fighting is the reverse of that. And arguing and raising voices and accusing, the minute you start accusing, it's probably over, right? And you need to understand, the one point I want to make is we need to know what causes people to make a decision, okay? And who the other side needs to hear from, and it usually is not you, okay? So, as an example, I'm going to give you an example. Arden this weekend, her listing off Soap Creek, 660, under contract. Agent, big company, but just doesn't seem that savvy or long in the business. Client, same thing, as far as not much home ownership. They do the house is really well kept. They do the inspection. They come back, there's asbestos tape on the ductwork. Okay, at the joints, which for anyone in the business, that is a non-issue, okay? I mean, every house in that era was built with tape at the joints. It's outside the vent, outside the ductwork, and the solution is, in 1 second, what's the solution? Tape over it, right? Just put duct tape over it, okay? Everyone knows that. It costs $150. They come back asking for all new ductwork, you know, they've had it quoted, $3,000 to $5,000, okay?
How much?
Whatever, all new ductwork, okay. So how do we explain to that agent from our side, how do we explain, because it's not that we're right and you're wrong, that doesn't win this, right? How do we get them to understand the truth?
The first thing you say is, I understand your concern.
Good.
Say, I appreciate
Right.
your client's worries about
Right.
this. But here's
Right. Asbestos is a very scary word in our business.
and here's
Right.
5 examples of my contractor or a contractor that I've worked with that's fixed this economically, and give them the examples of how it's been.
Okay, so
handled.
good. So are they going to believe us? Ever?
No.
Why?
Because we're on the other side.
We have a motive on the other side, right? So we need to realize that first. We can suggest, here are people, here's 5 people that I think you can call and will answer that. But it's not, I don't think we're ever going to convince them because of our motive in the relationship. Okay? She actually suggested going to higher up in their office, someone that's been in the business longer, to ask them, what is the fix for this? Okay? But I think understanding that it wasn't going to come from us, that you need to get people that you trust to give you that answer. Okay? That'll get you a long way. A lot of times we try to convince people, and a lot of times it's never going to happen because we have that division, that we have motives on the other side, that it's very difficult, no matter who you are. It's just hard to trust you because you're trying to get this for your seller. So, you're out. You just got to realize that. Okay?
Brad,
Yes.
I have a similar situation that happened last week.
Okay.
We were getting ready to get to the close. Well, we were like maybe 4 days from the closing table. The buyer comes up with a late on her mortgage payment from a year ago, and so we had to delay the closing in 30 days. And then so we find out that the seller has a brother on life support. I represent the buyer, and he found out that he was diagnosed with a terminal illness he's not seeking treatment for. So he's like really in a space and giving the agent a hard time. The agent is having a complete like meltdown because she can't take the emotionality coming off her client. I said, well, we need to, we come up with this situation where we need to extend by 30 days. Appraisal's good, repair's good. We just need a 30-day extension. If we use the 8-day unilateral, we only need about 20-something days. And the previous contract terminated. They had a bad experience. So we had she's like, well, I can't, he's not listening to me. He just wants to terminate. He wants to start all over. And so I said, instead of you presenting the amendment, we're going to have the lender present the amendment, because the lender will be able to answer any questions and give him more confidence, and we're not going to be on the phone when the lender calls him. It will be just him and the lender. And it took him about 4 days after he got off the phone with the lender, but he called the lender about 3 more times. But we got a 30-day extension. Right. On a contract with a man who's in a very fragile mental state. So it does help to get outside of the immediate. Sometimes it's okay to take a step back and allow somebody else to negotiate on your behalf. And a lot of times it's just providing clarity from a neutral space. But there's no way you can be neutral.
Right. And sometimes it's proof too.
Yeah.
Realize that just saying, I've talked to my regular HVAC guy, he says he can do this for $150. Again, I'm from the other side of the fence that has a motive. That has no validity. I have a lot more power if I actually got my HVAC guy to send that, saying that this is what we do, this is why, and this is the cost. I have a lot more power there. There's proof.
Yeah, I mean, we had to give up, a lot more release earnest money and things like that, but for a 30-day extension,
Right.
it's warranted.
There you go. All right, good chat.
Fred, you mentioned Harvard. Harvard had a project called the Negotiation Project, and they wrote a book about it called Getting to Yes.
Yeah.
It's a classic.
Yeah, it
And
is.
I highly recommend that book to anybody that wants to know more about negotiation. Called Getting to Yes.
You're exactly right. That's a great book. But this is a big part of our business. It is. It's understanding what we want, what's the final outcome of what we want, and then how do we get it there? In a situation where these people sometimes don't want the same thing as us or the opposite. And this can come back to your 4-year-old eating their vegetables over candy. Right? All right. Pete English. You want anything, Pete? I'm going to keep you coming. Rob Petrino. Bob.
Or Robert.
Christine Robinson. And anyone that wants these,
Mirror covers.
Mirror covers for your car if when you're out selling, if you'd like to put them on.
Admiring now.
Yeah, you could use them for oven mitts or.
You can make them into the bean bags for the cornhole.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey.
I'm good, Brad, thank you.
All right, let's do it this way. Does anyone else in here want anything of it? We have a few items. Anything you want, come up and grab it.
Can you use those mirror covers for booties for the house?
You probably could.
Yeah.
Yeah, big feet or small feet?
No, you can. I'll take one of
I think, you might if you put them,
the booty covers.
Very classic for big feet.
Oh, yeah. Oh, now everybody wants them now.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, now they're going off the shelf.
Right. No, take them.
But you know what, we might have more of those. So,
All right, listings and caravans, what do you got?
yeah, I think I have more.
Okay.
Listings and caravans.
I've got a listing, I just reduced the prices, a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, almost 3,200 square feet on Kingsborough Road, where Buckhead and Brookhaven meet, right off of Peachtree Street. Great neighborhood. The house was built in 2006, so it's got larger bedrooms, updated kitchen, modern touches that you won't find in several of those other homes.
And the magic number?
705.
Okay, who else? John.
I've got a couple of listings coming on the next couple of weeks. One of them is a fixer-upper in Kingsley. It's a 5-bedroom, 3 or 4 bath house.
Quick.
Anyway, it's going to start at $375. I think that's what's coming out of that. Then the another one that's going to be coming at Haversham Estates in Buckhead, which is that tall no pets building in Buckhead. So I don't know exactly the price of that. Probably somewhere between 160 to 170.
Misha.
I have a buyer need. If you guys have anything coming up in Roswell under 280, we're looking for like a brick ranch, 32. It could be 1,600 square feet, but she has to live in Roswell, or very much East Cobb, Johnson Ferry area. Trying to get as close to Roswell as possible. Please call me if you have anything coming to the market. It could be cute, it could be ugly. We just need a ranch or a master on the main in Roswell under 275. I have a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath in Stone Mountain, fully renovated, going on the market for about 210. And a 4-bedroom, 3-bath in Lawrenceville coming on the market for 195. Townhouse. Yeah.
Okay. The Alexanders, it's in front of you. Caravan today, cash grab bag, Mount Washington and Johns Creek, $475. Yeah.
This weekend or early next week, cottage townhome, 2-bedroom, cottage house, 2-bedroom, 2-bath, just under 1,500 square feet, 309 gated community. And there's nothing else for sale in there. And then in my,
where is it?
It's in Woodstock, sorry, right near Trickham in 92, and then same area, townhome, 2,000 square feet, 250, coming on in 2 weeks. In great shape.
We have a new listing from last week, 525 Brookfield Country Club, 4-bedroom, 4.5 bath, circular driveway, great porch looking out over the 14th fairway. So if you have somebody who wants to enjoy manicured lawns and green space and not have to do it all themselves, this is a house for you.
There we go.
Thank you.
Who else? Okay. Remember, staff is off the 4th and the 5th.
Good for you.
Office is always open 24/7, 365. Your fob gets you in. The office is always available to you. Enjoy your holiday. I know some of you doing business. We'll be back at it next week. Really take some time to look at halftime here of your business and talk to me about Bold if you're interested.
Great.
Y'all have a good one.
Notice the classes.
Classes this week here, next week.
Yes, it does. It's so heavy. It's very heavy. Put that on our wall. We had it on here, and it's